Hey guys, this is Zombie Master, or my Starcraft name is Genesis. I'm broadcasting this game on request of one of my friends. He's having trouble fighting Protoss players, and he thought everyone could benefit if I post this up on YouTube. I don't know how much help it would be, but I hope it's some against Terran players struggling against Protoss. A little bit about myself is I am a Division Rank 3 Platinum player. No, I'm not that good at all. I started in the Bronze League, to give you an idea, and worked my way up ever really since the beta. This shows you how much I really suck. My friend usually, this is a good example because my friend struggles with the Colossi Zealot Stalker combo with the probes and stuff. So this is a classic match of that, where I think 9 out of 10 times the Protoss player will do this strategy. Not hating on Protoss players, but you know. I usually start with the 10 SCVs first, and then you get a supply depot, and then I go scout with that SCV to go make sure I know what they're doing. And oftentimes, once you get into the base and you see this kind of formation going on, a pylon, gateway, you're almost going to be guaranteed, if there's just one gateway, they're going to be getting a cybernetics core off to the left here, or somewhere in the base. And here our workers just dance by each other. That's pretty neat. And I learned through the playing that always block off your base. I always block off my base. Sometimes, people say it's not a good idea to do that against Terran players or Protoss players. I always just do it because, all it takes is one little sneak attack or some units to slip by and you're fucked. They'll get to your workers and you're screwed. This is me chasing around his probe. She looks like he put on a few waypoints, so I forgot to do it all the way. Yep, there's a pylon, and I'm going to guess I'm going to see cybernetics core pop up here. Hospital, there it is. I can't remember this game. Oh, this probe got out. I was trying to block him off, but I was doing pretty bad. I always get the orbital command up fast. I failed. Like I said, I'm not a great player. You'll notice I'm horrible at macro. I come from a game of Command and Conquer, really, where it's more micro intensive, where you could win a game with one unit if you microed it properly. So that's my kind of playing style, and I've really worked hard on my macro, and I've gotten better to get into the platinum ring. So I will have this replay in the description if you'd like to see it there. Have your own little control over it. I'm going to speed this up though. So we can see the Protoss player doing the classic 2 gateway cybernetics core. If you see this setup, they're almost guaranteed just with mass stalkers and zealots, and I'm pretty sure quick tech to Colossi in the end for late game or mid to late game. It's very important to keep on scouting Protoss players, because they could just be doing this and going up to air. And if you don't know that Protoss players are going up to air, you're going to be screwed. It's also very important to have these Naga towers. It doesn't feel that important, but they help you quite a lot. And usually I expand quicker than this, but I focus more on getting a tank or 2 out first for defense. And since I'm taking up quicker, I always put one bunker next to my barracks just to hold off little forces, because you get 4 or 5 SCVs for pairing that bunker. It's going to extend its life quite a bit. And here I try to get my tank research. If I have a choice between the tank or the tank research first, I always do the tank research. That way, because it always takes longer, and usually I can pop out a tank just as the research is finishing. This one's going to finish a little bit quicker. Because tanks, in my mind, are good, but they're useless pretty much without the siege mode. The Protoss player expanded before me. I'm going out to recap my towers. Those are very important. Speed this up one more time. Build supply depots. Oh, you're getting supply capped, meaning that you reach your supply limit. I hit a couple times. You got to work on not doing that. And also harassing, even early game. Like my harassment here is fail. You can get. I'm gonna watch this for you. Horrible micro here on my end. Actually, I was not paying attention. I try to send this medevac in for the back, but this stalker right here is going to give me a bad day. And I was not paying attention. I tell him to fall back. I didn't think the stalker was going to chase him, or could chase him the whole way. Yep, there I go. And I'm like, alright, he'll get away. But nope, the stalker keeps up with the flying vehicle, which is magical. But anyway, what the heck is he doing here? I did not notice that. Alright, he's dancing, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to show off. That's... maybe he was like taunting me or something. I always pump out I'll do medevac and Viking to scout as well as the medevac for harassment. Oftentimes, if you can hit him twice at the same time, they'll only be able to micro one battle, and you only micro one battle, then you can hit him twice. So. Bunkers, I realized too, scare a lot of players. You see once or twice here where I scared the Protoss player away from the counter where he would have won because I had a couple bunkers and he thought they were full of men, but they never were. And I always too, recently, I love the dual orbital commands for the resource buff, but when it comes down to it, I love the planetary fortress with the armor upgrade and the high stack auto tracking upgrade. And plus with your SCVs repairing it, I mean, I've had so many Zerg and Terran, actually anybody always complains about those when they try to go head on with these. They're just decimating if you have so many SCVs repairing them. They're not as bad now since the update, since the army was automatically target the SCVs, but still devastating. And here I'm just pumping out tanks and Vikings. I saw his Colossi. I scouted with my one Viking. I saw where he was getting. And I always just pump out a few anyways against Protoss. So very important thing is to always, always, always know what your enemy is doing. You don't know what they're doing, you can't counter what they're doing. Always scout, even if it means losing your hand to it. And I need to work on that as well. There he takes the towers back, and I think he doesn't take that one quite yet. And here I'm just turtling up, trying to get money. See how he's probably doing better than me in the economy. Yeah, he's definitely doing better. Oop. His army is also significantly better than mine, cost-wise. You see here, I got Ravens. Ravens, Banshees, and Ghosts are very important against Protoss players. Ghosts, if they have, I don't know what they're called, those units that do the sonic storm, those will tear your infantry and hurt your tanks quite a bit. And EMP, if you get the EMP ability, these Ghosts, it'll automatically just drain all of their energy, so they can't do that anymore. And it just devastates their force as well, because for Protoss, half their health really is their shield, so an EMP is like a massive AoE attack on Protoss. It's devastating. You get them up. It really can turn the tide of a battle. Also, one thing I didn't do here like I usually do, if you see your minerals start running low like this and you have SCVs bouncing around, it's better just to pull as many SCVs as you can off and just go move to another field. This is just costing you money right now. It'd be better to expand a third time or possibly a fourth than just having them finish all this off. If you want, you can leave one or two SCVs behind gathering minerals. It's always important as well to have at least 2 bases getting resources. An issue with my friend, and especially a lot of players, is they can expand to their natural expansion quick, but they can't expand after that in late game. It's very important to be able to expand late game as well multiple times. You always want to have at least 2 bases gathering minerals. You want to practice that. I'm also in the description below, I'm going to link Yabbit, a build order tester. It's a great thing to play around with and see how you can get your strategies. And it has a custom strategies there for you can look at, tell you how to build and good strategies and things. And the AI is great. Green AI. And here I am just trying to stop him from having control of those. And I didn't know his force was there because I'm a dummy. I should have pulled him back right away, but I didn't. If you watch my camera, I'm always going like this around the map. I'm just insane. So that's why a lot of times I'll be looking at something and you'll see like, what is he doing? It's because I'm not even paying attention. I issue a command and then I leave that view to go somewhere else, to this base, then I'm over here, then over here. So my attention's very divided when I play these games, which is fault with my macro as well. And here I just start building factories, start pumping out more tanks. When you get 2 to 3 bases, you got to get multiple factories. This one tank factory was not going to help me against this force. So I was trying to get up more. And this right here, this is a no-no. This is bad. See, only 3 SCVs can be harvesting at once here. I have 3, 6, 7, 8 SCVs harvesting. You don't want that. I should have moved all these over, but I was not paying attention. I moved some of them over before, but I do that. Let's speed this up a bit though. Oh. Alright, as you can see here, pause this for a second. I was waiting. I had my force here because I knew he saw this base, and I knew he was going to try to get in. And I thought he was just going to blink in there and try to get everything, so I had my tanks deploy up here. But he didn't do exactly what I thought he was going to do, so I moved them up here, deployed him, and I made him think that all I had up there were my tanks. So he goes up here, tries to get them, and he runs into my force as well. I managed to kill 1 or 2, but everything helps. And here, this also, the most important thing in Starcraft is pretty much is mental warfare. If you can break someone break is probably the wrong word for this game. If you can scare somebody in this game, it is a lot more than a mass army can. If you can scare someone into not expanding, into not attacking you, it gives you a lot more breathing room for sure. And here I'm just pumping out more tanks. Against Protoss, it's not ideal to do nothing but tanks, obviously, because those units will tear you apart. You gotta mix, especially with Protoss, you have to mix units. I got Marauders, Marines, 2 Ghosts, 2 to 4 Ghosts usually. Marines, Marauders, Vikings. I will get 2 Ravens up eventually, which will help against Stalkers because of the point defense drone. Then I got 2 Banshees. Banshees are good too to have in your main force, not just for harassment. And then I get up a Thor or 2, and they get killed pretty quick towards the end. Another thing with the Ghost too is, a couple times, it's not in this game, I get a nuke up, and usually I can use that. Oop, get the tower again. Usually I can use nukes if we're engaged in an army. It's gonna be like all our armies together. I usually nuke the other army. They either have to pull back or they have to suffer the loss of being killed by Ghosts. And I've had a couple games where that's won me a game because I nuked him. He didn't hear the nuke coming down because of all the fighting. I guess his game was too loud, but it was pretty devastating. The thing about Protoss is a lot of the times they'll clump up to guys like this, so you know where their army's at. You know. And what I should have done is got a few guys and just snuck up around here, maybe hit these guys a little, but I don't do that because I'm bad. But here I start putting pressure on, especially as Terran or late game, you want to put some kind of pressure on. That was me trying to go nuke his base. But I scanned that good there, I don't know how to rape right there. And here, even though I saw his Stalkers, I was going for his Colossi, because that damage did pretty good. And you know, I'd rather lose a Viking or 2 and damage a Colossi, because an advanced alien race can't repair their own technology, so, you know. Speed this up again, I go around making sure he doesn't have bases where he shouldn't, I harass him a little. If you're harassing, I would always go for the gas. I tried to, but I have a hard time sometimes getting the timing right, so they'll fire, but the probe will be inside the simulator already, so they always go for it. Harassment's good, that's good mental warfare there as well. I know it sounds silly for a game, but it's true, it helps you win games. Here I'm pumping out Vikings, because I see he's got a mass Colossi army. The most important thing is being able to constantly adapt to what he's doing. I see he's doing the same thing with Stalkers. I know that my Stalkers are decimated for it. Here I actually lose this battle, but it cost him a lot of money. Those Colossi are not cheap. I lost my tank force, but I had enough resources to start pumping out more tanks right now, and a whole bunch of more units, so I'll be fine. He lost all his Colossi, and look at his resource loss right here compared to mine. So I'm doing pretty good, and I have 5 more units lost than him, and I still have 3 bases right now to his, well, really 1. That's all he really has. He's got this base, but it's almost out, and this one's alright. So I have a couple Thors now, just throw it in there, and a good thing about Thors, which I do late game, or later game as well as tanks, is get a couple SCVs with them. Shut on the auto repair command, get 5 SCVs per Thor, and they'll extend their life quite a bit as well. You know, every little thing that can help you win. And here you see him popping in more stalkers. I'm going to speed this up a little bit more. Me just rebuilding my force. I think this is a good point around here where he tries to attack my base, but I have one bunker with just 2 marauders. And if he were to just charge me, he would have killed that. Well, done a lot of damage to my base. I don't know if he would have killed it with this. And I saw him coming, so I got ready, but he doesn't know his force is here. As soon as he sees that, he backs off. Bunkers can really scare a lot of people, and I thought he was going to attack this, but he backed off for some reason. Probably because the Planetary Fortress is devastating, especially with the armor and range upgrade. And what this really does is, since Terran players, their forces are actually really slow compared to others. So it's very important that you get this sometimes for extended bases, because it can hold off an enemy force while your force is slugging their way over. It also can reduce their army size a little bit. And here he goes, just popping out more stalkers. I'm getting more marauders now than marines, since I've noticed he's just doing pure stalker spam. A couple of zealots, a couple of immortals. This pretty much is getting close to the end here, so I'll fast forward this. I get the tower again. He's got the tower on the right side, obviously. I see this force incoming. Deploy my tanks. One thing I started doing, I should have done here, is you spread out your tanks a little bit, not too much, but just enough so they can cover each other. But if they blink all to one tank, like if they were all to blink to these 2 tanks here, it wouldn't matter, because these tanks would be here be covering, and I only would lose 2 tanks. If you spread them out a little bit more, if you do that little micro, you can micro, you can start lessening casualties here. And here he knows his stalkers won't be a challenge for the tanks. I start pumping out more and more guys. Probably could have hurt me, and I start leapfrogging my tanks. I've started doing that a lot more recently, because obviously players will take advantage of your siege tanks. This is a good example of it right here. I lose these 2 tanks because he blinked in. Now if all my tanks were up there, I would lose them, but I have some down here protecting. I have 2 more right here as a front shooting out, and I also have this lazy force sitting in the back just chilling, covering them from any air. Alright. Okay. Actually, he's putting defense drones up. These point defense drones they really help a lot. Like, if you just pop them off like that, they only can block a few shots, but anything helps. And right here you can see I have SCVs repairing, well, they were repairing my Thor before it blew up, and repairing tanks and things, and it really extends their life. Watch the slide. Almost instantly, everything's getting repaired. That defense drone will stay there for a while, helps me out a little bit more. Tries to put more pressure on me. These immortals are pretty good at killing these marauders, by the way, so don't think marauders are a counter to immortals. Good counter to immortals are marines, but all my marines got toasted. And here I start pumping out a lot more. And don't be afraid to unsiege your tanks if they get up in your grill like that. And here, even though a lot of players will fall back after they got hit this hard, like I lost a lot of units to my crappy micro and macro, so I'm pretty suffering here, but a lot of units or players, I've noticed at least, will just fall back after they took a big hit. I know I have units being produced here. I know, well, I should have these factories building tanks to come up and help me. I still have 2.5 bases gathering resources. I can do this if I keep pumping out units. That's 90% of these games. If you know you have the enemy a little bit and he's hurt and you have the resource advantage, just keep pumping out units. Here, don't be afraid to make these Vikings go into assault mode. This is something I've been doing. Here, you might ask, why is there a supply depot up there? Well, I kind of needed supplies and had SCVs up there already. Yeah, why not try to block a zealot or 2 on the way? I do this thing where I kind of entrench myself. If I know I can't push, like I do, my 4 tanks could not take on this force, or this little tiny force could not take on that force. So I start entrenching them. I tried to build bunkers and missile turrets here to cover myself, I can get my army back up. I kind of entrench myself in a part of the map. This has its advantages and disadvantages. In a situation like this, where the Protoss player is obviously right there, and he's trying to get you out of his base, and you start entrenching, if he doesn't push you soon, you won't be able to, he won't be able to stop you, is what I should have said. And he'll actually see me trying to do this, and he'll rush in trying to stop, and he actually almost kills me off. Here, actually turn these down to a fighter mode, or assault mode, sorry. So I can help the tanks, or even be meat shields for the tanks, and I have more units on the way. And here, even though I have a small force, really hurt real bad. I have this fallback point if I need to, even though one bunker can help quite a bit. And here I start to push. Get rid of all of his, even though you mind up the whole thing, he's not getting gassed. It's really important. And here he goes, getting this, and I notice him going for that, and I know he's probably got an expansion in already. Here I can move up my tanks real slow. I start entrenching again right here. He tries to get me from behind, actually. Surprises me. I don't know what he's trying to do. Maybe hit my bases down here. I don't know. That force has not been big enough to take on those planetary fortresses, that's for sure. So this is a very important thing when you're doing here. I'm attacking his base right now with this, so he's kind of going to be distracted, and I'm also putting a nuke off. And it looks like you can see the nuke through the building. I always try to hide the dot a little bit. It's kind of impossible now, but you hit him twice like that. That right there was a devastating blow to his workforce. He's getting no income at all. I attacked his main base. He was distracted. He didn't pull his workers back. That's all I was trying to do. That force wasn't meant to kill that base, just as a distraction. And right there, he leaves because he knows he has no income. And if you want more of a better view of this, without my crappy view, you can download the description and download the link in the description below, and go ahead and check it out. And I also have a separate link up for that Yabbit tester, which is great if you're trying to mess around with strategies and things. And I'm probably going to do a few more of these if you guys like it. So thank you. Take it easy.